The following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man never thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Stars.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We have a fun show for you guys today. Before we get started, let's say hi to everybody, starting off with the cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
I'm having my lunch, which is a Welch's.
Don't give him a commercial.
I'm going to, because you know why? I'm going to shame them. I'm going to shame them into sending me a bunch of boxes. Look at that. The most delicious snack, low in calorie, low in sugar, no sugar.
No, it has sugar, but it's just.
But it's really good. I'm dieting, so I eat these for lunch. There you go, Welch's.
Fruit snacks.
Now, we're going to contact you and tell you to go on YouTube and look at the show to see how I'm pushing your goodies. Send me at least a dozen cartons full of them.
They all want to know what you're eating. What's up, chat room?
Delicious.
Chat room is starting to fill up. Let's say hi to everybody. Teresa Sabins from Florida. Backpack John is in the chat room. B. Claudia from Germany. Cindy Lady Lake is in the chat room. Hub Reynolds is in the chat room.
How are you?
Boober Mays is in the chat room. What's up, everybody? If I missed you, I'm sorry, but you're not writing quick enough.
Hub, you should be coming on the show soon. We haven't had you on in a long time, so we could find out what's up. I understand you got a couple of good records out we should push.
It's all good. So what's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing good. We have a fun show for you guys today. We have Barry Pearl coming on, actor, director, producer, one of the main cast members of the movie Grease. Should be a lot of fun. He's also been in a zillion other things. We also have actress, producer, writer, and author Marlene Bandera coming on, and Mike Figliola, who's also an author. So should be a lot of fun today.
Now listen to how things could be misconstrued. Jimmy said to me, we have a guy coming on from Greece. I said, oh, wonderful. I love Greek people. Because, you know, I have a lot of relatives on my sister's marriage side that are Greek. I said, does he live in Greece? He said, what are you talking about? Like I'm an old senile man. Now, he said to me, he's from Greece. Wouldn't you think from Greece means a person in Greece? Well, no, it turns out that he was in the movie Grease. But the moron I'm married to forgot to put the word fucking made me curse. He upsets me so much. See that? please send me money for a divorce. I got to be saved.
Yeah.
I want to do a scene from Sex in the City. She's sitting on the sofa with her husband, Steve, and she turns to him and she says, I need more. I can't be sitting on this sofa every night having dessert. Steve, I need more. I need more. So what does she do? She went and got this ugly dyke to lick her nipples. I mean, really. Do we need to see that? Lisa could have got a pretty, lipstick lesbian, a hot, sexy blonde that would be having sex with her. But that truck driver man thing, she's not even pretty. She's homely looking.
Thanks, B. B likes my shirt. It's my Jimmy Star rubber ducky shirt. And Hub Reynolds says he loves those snacks and he has new music and a new look coming soon.
What's the new look? You're going to go without pants?
Yeah.
That would be my new look, naked.
I think he's going to be going for more of a Jason Statham look.
Oh, wow.
And that's Ron's favorite.
Oh, you better beware. You better never see me in person. I may just jump you and attack you. Not really. At my age, I'm lucky I can crawl, let alone jump. I have to open my bag of goodies. Jimmy, speak.
Okay, should be a lot of fun anyway, you guys. We should have a good show. Also, for all the other cool things going on, if you guys are watching any cool shows, we started watching on Tubi because we've seen everything. The Client List with Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's a really fun show about basically like a prostitute, but it's really good.
Jimmy relates to that.
And you guys would like it a lot, so I think it's a lot of fun. We also have what's that alien movie? Alien show comes back, I think, tonight on Sci-Fi. Resident Alien comes back on Sci-Fi, and that TV show Ghost just got renewed for another season on CBS, I think. And so that show's a lot of fun. We've been having fun with that one too. And
they didn't have to use blatant sex to be appreciated. Sex in the City, the writers are a bunch of young jerks, and they think that we're all young and stupid and that we like the nonsense they're putting on that show. I mean, Sarah Jessica Parker vomiting, wiping her snatch in a toilet with asking for more toilet paper. I mean, these are undignified things. I'm so ashamed of Sarah because she was always a classy little broad in the old series of Sex in the City. And now they're just turning that Sex in the City into sensationalism. I mean, penises are hanging out now, and who needs that shit? Give us a story, goddammit. We're not stupid. And if we want to see penises hanging out, I'll look in the mirror and I'll be happy because it's a nice one.
Yeah. They said they love our hairdos. Mine's getting cut though because mine's too long. I look homeless in real life. On screen here, it looks pretty good, but in real life, I look homeless.
He looks like on the pies. You know those pies you buy in the supermarket where they have grandma, the old lady? And that's what he looks like, grandma, on the grandma pies.
When I take the glasses off the top of my head.
Or you just become gorgeous. I can't breathe. Oh my God, I'm having a stroke. Oh, you're so sexy and horny. See, I can do that stuff too. How many of you women out there
I have to cut it some.
Wait, how many women out there fake orgasms while your husband is screwing you? You go, oh honey, I can't.
Watch out, you're freaking the dog out.
My dog is getting crazy. He thinks I'm having a stroke or kicking the bucket. See, at my age, it's not sexy. It's people think you die. So you can't make any noise when you have an orgasm at my age because they call paramedics.
Yeah, that's funny. So anyway, we're going to have a fun show. Before we do that, let me do our little commercials because we got a busy show today and I might not have time to do it later. So we want to thank everybody for tuning into the show every week. Last week's show's doing really well. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, TuneIn, Pandora, Amazon Prime, and SoundCloud. Those are the main ones. We're on about 150 other ones. We also love it when everybody tunes in live on our home station, W4CY, with the fabulous Roxy running our boards for us, who we love to death. She's fabulous. And we're so happy everybody tunes in every week for the show because we're having a lot of fun with it and we get to meet a lot of great people.
Astro thinks I was hurt. That's why I was yelling.
He's licking at.
No, Astro, I was doing an orgasm imitation. Look how he's licking Daddy. That's the wrist that I fractured, you know. He knows that wrist is injured. He's been taking care of it for a long time. Dogs are so smart. Please rescue a dog. There are so many out there just crying and wanting so badly to be in your home and to kiss you and love you. Look at my baby, how he takes care of his dad.
So we also want to welcome, I forgot to say hi to Julia. I think Julia is from Russia, but I'm not positive. And Roxy's in the chat room too.
Okay,
so
that's enough.
Should be like a lot of fun.
Astro, that's enough.
Okay, Astro, sit, honey.
Good. So Daddy's fine. I'm fine. I was having a make-believe orgasm.
I love it. So we're going to play a quick music video real quick. We're going to play Kulik's Ghost. And then when we come back, we're going to have our first guest, Barry Pearl, on the line. So go ahead, Roxy. Let's play it. You guys know this is Kulik. We love him. He's fantastic. This is one of his newer songs, and I love it a lot. I hope you guys enjoy it too. And we'll be back in 1 second. Yay, everybody. That was Kulik Ghost. A lot of fun. We love him. We saw him live in New York, and he was fantastic.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Please don't shout or lower your mic, because you're being very loud.
Oh, I'm actually not talking loud at all either. All right, we're going to bring on our first guest.
No, you have a tendency of shouting. When you speak normally, it's really enjoyable. But when you begin to shout like some Floridian alligator hunter.
Anyway, we're going to bring on our first guest right now. I'm super excited. So go ahead, Roxy. Let's bring him in. Hello, Barry. How you doing?
Well, I have some tzatziki and gyros, spanakopita, and saganaki on the stove.
Good.
I'll be right.
Good, because I love the grape leaves with the chopped meat inside.
I just ordered
Love
from Taste Chicago, where I get my Lou Malnati's deep dish pizza. I just you go through those magazines that they send you, from the Omaha Steaks and this and that, and you shouldn't do that when you're hungry. So, but I did yesterday, and I went ahead and ordered the gyros pack. It's 25 slices of the meat, 6 pita, and that's about a pint of tzatziki. For an extra $30, I could get 2 pizzas. I already got pizzas in the deep freeze. I ordered them anyhow because I'm a Jew, and I couldn't, resist a $30. It's usually $64. So this has nothing to do with GREASE, but it does have to do with what pleases us in terms of our culinary delights. Is the show on yet?
Yes.
Yeah, well, we share the same thing. If I don't have my bagel every morning with cream cheese, I have a nervous breakdown. It's like history. You wake up, you must have that bagel or else.
But
bagel and coffee.
And I love Omaha steaks.
That's because I'm half Jewish.
Yeah.
The other half is Italian.
Oh, the best.
The pizza and the Jew thing works for me. Now, are you
Hold on, we're gonna introduce him.
Wait, are you
Wait a
Greek?
minute. Wait.
The
only difference
he's Jewish.
between the Italians and the Jews, it's gravy or it's sauce. That's the only difference, right?
Well, if you come from the north, it's sauce. If you come from the south, it's gravy.
But the same with the Jewish kitchen, it's gravy, and with the Italians, that's what I meant.
That's sauce. Oh yes.
Right.
So everybody,
smulch.
now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. You guys, actor, director, producer Barry Pearl. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi. What is this? What's this little graphic thing of John on my shirt? What is that? Can you see? Is that?
Oh yeah, I see that.
What is
I don't
that?
know what that is.
I want that question answered. Are you a Greek Jew?
No, I'm a Jew. I'm an Ashkenazi Jew.
Oh, I'm Ashkenazi also because of the Italian. My father was an Italian Jew from Genoa, where all the Jews come from. Genoa is the capital of Jews in Italy, Italian Jews.
So hang on. So this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
He knows me already.
I know we have to make sign, and then we have a chat room filling up with people. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody in the chat room.
And are you in Chicago?
No. I'm in California, Southern California.
Okay.
Oh,
we're in Palm
I just
Springs.
ordered my pizza from Chicago. That's all.
Okay.
Literally, they send it overnight. It's called Lou Malnati's. It's the best. And I order them, and they send them with dry ice or an ice pack, and you're good to go. It's delicious.
Now,
oh my God, I love
on
that.
the serious side, because I have my calling coming out, what is going on with the anti-Semitism we have today, with the synagogues being attacked and Jews being attacked again? Why don't the fuck they leave Jews alone? Jews don't do anything but make the world beautiful.
Right.
They're the best race. They're the most elegant race. They dress the best, have the best homes. They're an intelligent race. Look at the music, the theater, the arts, comedy. Jews contribute so much to our culture. How dare you? How dare you out there abuse Jews?
Film. How dare we abuse anybody, quite honestly?
No, it's bullshit what's going on again.
We've always been the scapegoat. We've always been the scapegoat.
That's true.
Yeah, but it calmed down for a while. Not for anything. I'm not a Trump lover, but when Trump was in office, we didn't have half the shit going on that's going on now.
I don't want to do politics.
No. Trump was not an anti-Semite. Trump, because I have good friends that are good friends with him. In fact, he has given more money to the Jewish causes and United Jewish
Let's just say there's lots of problems in the world all over the place with all of
Anyway,
everybody.
I wish it would stop. And everybody out there, if you hear anyone doing anything that's dangerous to Jewish people, please report.
Any people.
Wait. No, I don't give a shit about any people. I'm worried about the Jews right now because they're the minorities that are being attacked. Look what they did in was it Chicago to that synagogue?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Hostages. I mean, you go to temple to pray, and you got to become a hostage. What is the hell is going on in our country? And they want to have no more police. What are they, nuts? Anyway, hello.
Hello. I don't know that we don't have any more police. That defunding thing, the police, I think, is pretty much a myth. Quite honestly, that the Republicans.
No, it's not. Not in New York City. My New York City friends said you can get away with murder in New York. They are walking out of all the stores with goods, and the police don't care. The police let them go. They're not.
In California too.
And California.
That's happening.
Our crime has risen terribly. We need to get serious people. We need to start going back to being law-abiding people with strict laws. Because if you give people an inch, they'll take a yard, and we've seen that so far.
So
Stop
anyway,
it.
let's stop it.
Stop
Let's.
the madness and this deal with Russia. Anyway, how are you, my friend?
So you guys.
How are you?
I just get nuts every now and then, and I have to sound off because we have 5 million people that watch this show. So I just sent a message out to 5 million people, and hopefully some of them may report things they hear about, attacking Jewish people or any people.
Yes.
Oy vey is me.
So
What
you
can
guys-
I tell you? What can I
I
tell
could
you?
absolutely go on and on. I'm a bleeding heart liberal for those of you. I hope you haven't lost 1 million people here.
No, we won't.
No, we are.
We love everybody.
Yeah, no, people say to me, Ron, are you a Republican or a Democrat? And my answer is not an evasive one. It is. I will vote for whoever I feel does the best for my country. I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat.
Mhm.
If you're the one I think that can clean it up and get it going again, I will vote for you because that's what everybody should do. It's not a football team. It's not rah-rah for the LA Lakers. This is a serious matter. Republicans or Democrats. I don't dislike Democrats, and I don't dislike Republicans.
I follow everything, and I love not everything, but many of the things you post, you guys. You can find Perry on Instagram, you guys.
Right.
He's at Barry_Pearl, PEARL_LA. Born in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, is what I saw, and we actually lived in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, for 5 years.
Love Lancaster,
Yeah.
loved it. Love
Doylestown was just
it.
in the news today, I want to say. I can't remember in relation to what. Doylestown was in the news. I can't remember. Oh, no. I lie. It was, I think it was on the new series, The Gilded Age, which started yesterday.
Oh.
Yes, and they spoke about Doylestown. I'm getting my politics mixed up with my art. So sorry.
Well, Lancaster. How did a Jew get into Lancaster?
There's a big Jewish community in Lancaster. And
Go
it's
away.
Lancaster.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They
My
were
gosh.
all Amish. I used to love to look at their little wagons with the horse and the signal lights. I cracked
My
up at the
cousin
signal lights.
has a 48-acre farm on which I practically grew up in southern Lancaster County in New Providence, Pennsylvania. My cousin Roxanne Todd and her
A
husband
Jewish farmer. You're the
Well,
first Jewish farmer I ever met.
My aunt married outside the faith, so he was.
Oh, okay.
My uncle Buzz was a Protestant. Not that makes any difference, because when
No,
you're in
that
love, the whole
doesn't.
world's Jewish.
Is that where we
Absolutely.
went to Gabe's in Lancaster?
Gabe, no, Lancaster's where all the Amish people
Yeah, that's
are.
where Gabe's was.
No, Gabe's was in Philly, in
No.
Center City.
I know, but we went to the Gabe's in Lancaster all the time because that's where we also met Frankie Valli.
Right.
Yeah, we met Frankie Valli at like a play, like a
Well,
theater
I
there.
wasn't impressed. Not a very nice, friendly person at all.
I'm sorry
And
to hear that.
very, very much involved with who he is, and I found him to be nothing but a Jersey hood. I'm a Brooklyn hood, so I can call him that.
I had one encounter with Frankie at it might have been a premiere of the movie back in the day, and he was very sweet to me, very complimentary. It's the only time I ever had any contact with him.
He
So
must have been, he could be in a good mood. I'm not always in a great mood. When people, especially if I'm eating, people come up to me and I'm polite. You Ron Russell? I say, yeah. Do I look like him? Yeah, I'm Ron Russell. And they say, oh, I like you. I said, that's fine. Now it's an hour later. My food just got cold. Please leave me alone. I'm not your best friend. Don't pull up a chair and sit down and eat from my plate. And that's what fans do. They really, today, in my day, I never had fans because I was in the business, but the people I knew, if I was out with Betty Davis, let's say at lunch, which I had been at times, people would come up to her. Oh, Miss Davis, I love you. I adore you. I adore you. I adore you, Miss Davis. I do. And she would say, of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. And then after a while, she'd simply put her face down and eat. And the people would stand there talking. She completely ignored them. People don't realize that you're eating.
it's a very.
Do you get recognized everywhere? Do you get recognized everywhere? Because you look
No,
exactly the same with gray hair.
Occasionally, but it's never oppressive, but not like Betty Davis or the like. But I can imagine that after a while it gets a little oppressive. You know, I totally.
Well,
get it.
when I Jane Russell was my dearest and best friend. In fact, I took her name. That's my stage name, Russell, from Jane. We hung out together. We were like brother and sister, and we ate millions of times together. And people came up, and they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, Miss Russell, I love you." And she'd say, "Fine, can I have your autograph?" She'd say, "Honey, I have macular degenerate eyes, but you can have a photograph with me."
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
they got their cell phones and they went next to Jane, and she was polite.
Sweet.
And I said to her, "It's easier to sign it." She said, "No, it's not, Ron." She said, "Because in between taking the picture, I can eat."
Yeah.
So I
It's
want to
a
go
movie.
to you. So I read online that you were in a traveling version of Grease, like a Broadway version of Grease or something, you know, and that's what kind of like led to you getting the actual role of Duty in Grease. Is that true?
Well, in part, I was a replacement in the first national touring company of Greece. So there was a Broadway company, and prior to that, there was a company in Chicago where it all began, and then off Broadway, and then finally on Broadway. Opened in 1972, February 14th. It's coming up on its 50th anniversary, actually.
I was
And
there
and
the third night it opened. I was there.
that good, terrific. And it's a long story as to how I got involved, but I did. And I did the last 10 months of that first national tour. Subsequently, I mean, that was 70. Well, the interesting thing is on May 19th of 1973, I stepped on stage for the first time as Sonny in the national tour. 4 years to the day later, May 19th of 1977, I got cast as Duty in the movie. Now, the role of Duty in the film is pretty much the role of Sonny in the play.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
role,
Okay.
the role of Putsy in the film is really Duty from the movie. And the role of Sonny in the movie, played by Michael Tucci, is really the character of Roger from the play. You sort of have to know both the play and the film to understand those distinctions.
It
But
was
my
so
portrayal is much like the character of Sonny from the stage play. So yes,
Well,
and that
I want to
really,
tell you something I bet you don't know.
what's that?
On the third night that I went to see the which I love, the musical, we had theater etiquette back those days. No one moved.
up.
We dressed, we sat there, and we enjoyed the show. This is the first time I've ever seen people jumping in their seat, tapping their foot, and moving their, wanting to dance because that music just hopped you right out of your bird.
Yeah.
And it was a fabulous musical. I watch it on TV all the time.
Yeah.
It has a great storyline. It's fun. It's just a terrific film.
think, too, it's
and you
one of-
were terrific in it. And
Thank
all of you were terrific.
Thank you.
There wasn't anyone that was miscast at all.
Thank you.
No,
Appreciate it.
I'm serious.
I believe you.
The New York accents, they should have called me on that because mine is as thick as it gets. Some of the
Oh, and
New
you
York,
could have sang too.
well, I could have been in it, but I was too old, I think, at the time.
Weren't we
74?
all?
Yeah, I was 34 years old at the time. I was way too old. I could never play a teenager. But
So you sing in real life though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still sing?
Yeah, I do. In fact, I'm about to do a production of the Neil Sedaka jukebox musical "Breaking Up Is Hard to Do."
Love
I
that
was
song.
supposed to have done it with Dee Dee Khan. She has other commitments, and they're still looking for a co-star for me. We're doing it in Boca Raton at the Wick Theater. Contract has not been formally
Oh.
signed, but the memo deal is out there.
We're actually from
I'm from
I met Ron.
Boca.
And we actually hooked up in Boca Raton. Now we're in
Right.
Palm Springs, but we
This
went
is
from Boca.
The Wick
Oh,
Theater.
sure.
Yes,
Sure,
absolutely.
I know all the theaters in town, and also in the town in Fort Lauderdale is quite
Yeah,
a few.
Performed
So-
in Fort Lauderdale too. I did a
So
show
ha-
Saturday night at Grossinger's in Fort Lauderdale.
Have you ever done the schoolhouse, the old schoolhouse?
I have not.
That's a nice room. Jane was booked there, Jane Russell,
Mhm.
and that's up in above. What's that town called above Boca? Atlantic Avenue. What's that town?
Delray Beach.
Delray Beach.
Delray.
Look it up. Book yourself there at Delray Beach, the old schoolhouse. It's a
Okay.
wonderful little theater. It's about maybe 150 people, but it's charming. It's an intimate. You know who else was there? My buddy Renee Taylor. She did her one woman show, and Renee was wonderful, and the audience just felt like they're in a living room with her. It's a great room to play. You'll
Ron,
like
do
it.
you have a book? Do you
No,
have a book?
everybody asks him that though. He needs one.
What?
He knows everybody. He needs one.
No, I cannot write a book because I'm in the business 64 years. I started at 19. I have lived many lifestyles, married with 2 children, 16 years, lived straight, lived a lie, lived gay, married to Jimmy, movie stars, mafia people, friends, parties, stories, too many names, too much trouble, too many people that are gay and are still married and their spouses don't know they're gay. So to write a book is just cruel,
It's so
criminal.
funny. And when
mean.
Jersey Boys the movie came out, he was like, "Oh my God, this was like my life." When they're like selling all the stolen goods and all the stuff.
Well, if you're from Brooklyn, back in those days, you were hood. I mean, what? Who came out of college? I mean,
Well,
Jews went to college. That was the other side of town. No, it's true.
Avenue J in Canarsie, my cousin
Wait,
David.
No, if you lived off of Ocean Parkway, you were a Jew. All right.
Actually,
and you were in college. Laney Kazan came from there. I mean, Laney's a good buddy of mine, and we talk all the time about Ocean Parkway. I love her. She's going to be starring in a movie with me. Anyway, we talk about the old Jewish lady that used to sit on the middle island of Ocean Parkway with her legs open. And as the cars drove by, the wind would, old lady, she didn't even know her legs were open. They just fell open because she's old. And Laney and I said, "Do you remember her?" I said, "Laney, give me a break. Did you really see that?" Laney said, "Yeah, remember her?" And when I work now, she said, I patterned myself after her.
Funny.
It's that story that I remember. That woman, she had a lawn chair. She sat right on the middle of the parkway with her legs open, and all the cars. 100 years old.
Actually, too, because you went to Carnegie Mellon, I think I read.
Yes.
Good school. So you're smart Jew. Because it's a very good school. So
I'm certainly.
I came from Red Hook. Now, if you know anything about Red Hook back in the 1940s was where every big mafia guy came from. It was the capital of Sicilian and Napolitan mafia, which I'm not. We're Northern Italian. We're from Genoa. But my father knew all of them from the Italian club. And I grew up with all their kids. And the kids I used to see on TV, just got arrested 50 years to life because they were all big mafiosos.
Sure.
So I really couldn't write a book. I would not write a book.
So hold on, let me go back because I
might write one about Jane and myself. Call it Jane and I. All about our adventures.
You probably have plenty of stories that you could put. Listen, they're always hawking me to write a book, and I've been in the business for 60 years, Ron. So 4 years less than you, and I have stories that I could put in there. Some that if I did, I'd probably I'd have to just be about like on death's door to be able to tell all the truths.
You can't listen, you can't do it. I know stories about Tab Hunter, my good friend. I would never tell. Because first of all, his lover would be upset by these stories. Not that I had anything to do with him sexually, but just things that I know about Tab, things I know about Jane, things I know.
Write it with discretion, Ron.
I mean, like I said, the only one I would talk about is Rhonda Fleming because I did not like her. She was a snob, a snooty, snotty snob. So Rhonda Fleming, I'd be happy to write about.
But so hold on, I want to switch the topic. Not the rest. I want to switch the topic because we don't have that much time.
What do you mean we have much time? He's a landsman. Landsmen's get extra time here.
No, I want to talk about. So we actually had
You know what landsman means?
Of course.
Oh, I don't know how much. I don't know how Jewy you are. Some people are not even. I have friends of mine that are Jewish, and I said
my business partner's Jewish, and she's not Jewish at all.
I said, "Oh, don't be a yenta." They said, "What's that?" I said, "You're a Jew, and you don't know what fucking yenta means? Go hang your head."
Let me ask you one more question, a culinary question. Do you like sushi? Do you like sushi, Ron?
No, I hate
fish. Doesn't eat fish.
I'm the only.
The reason why I'm asking is because you mix your cream cheese with wasabi, which is the
vomit.
Michael from Gott. The Vesta Michael from Gott. It's a delight from God.
Yeah, no, I understand, but no. I'm not a fish eater. I'm the only one. When they eat the lox, I can't. I tried.
So you don't eat lox? Okay.
No, I have a bagel.
Do anything with fish.
I do like a guyish
Okay.
bagel, a Goyish
The
bagel.
only fish he
My
eats
wife
is
does the same thing.
cream
linguine with clam sauce is the only thing he eats that's fishy. That's it. Nothing
because
else.
I make it in such a way that it doesn't taste
like
like fish.
So
Okay.
you're our second Grease person. We actually, before COVID came on, we had Eddie Deason come on.
Right.
That we met at an event or something. So he came on and he was a lot of fun. And like you, he's been in a lot of cool things. So I want to ask just one more Grease thing, and then I want to go over your career a little bit because I want to talk about some of the other stuff that you've done besides Grease. But how was it being? I mean, for me, like I think Grease came out when I was in 7th grade. So for me, it was like a huge thing, and all my friends in the neighborhood, we all wanted to dress up like the people from Grease, and like the Lords of Flatbush was big. At the same time. And so we would pretend like we were all those people. So how was it being? Because I think that's probably one of the most iconic movies of my entire childhood.
Wait, how old were you when it came out?
I was in 7th grade, so I was like 12.
And I was 40 something. No, what year did your movie come out?
78.
I was 38.
I was 14
I was
then.
30,
I was 14.
I was 38 years old.
I was 14.
I'm 81 and a half now.
Bless your heart. Yeah, you're 10 years older than me.
Okay. See,
So how was
look
it
what
being,
you got to look forward
how
to.
was it being in one of the most iconic movies, like basically like in history?
It was, and I've said this before, it was a labor of love. I've never been able to. I've been in some wonderful projects and have worked with some wonderful people, have some great experiences, and certainly Grease is a highlight of my career. And we still are very close, by the way, all of us from the film that are still alive. We just had a great time. It was just such a joy to be able to work in the environment that was created by Alan Carr and Randall Kleiser and the creatives. They just set it up in a fashion that made us look forward to coming to work every day.
And you know what? It shows in the film.
That camaraderie,
Yeah.
Ron, you're very
Definitely.
right. And I think that's the core of the film. It's we go together. It may sound trite, but that's
No,
exactly
it's not. I've been on films where nobody got along and it showed in the film. And I've been on films where we all loved each other and it showed that also. So camaraderie, absolutely. Question. What was it like? Now, she's a brilliant, brilliant actress, and I'm a great fan of hers. But I'll be damned if I remember her friggin' name. She played
Stockard.
Yeah, I love Stockard Channing.
Unfortunately, Stockard has removed herself from the mix that is the post success, if you will, of the film. And she has her reasons for doing that. She became, I'll call it a very serious actress. Not
very. She's a good
but
actress.
she didn't. She. It seems like she doesn't want to be so associated with it, and that is her right to do that. At the time, she was wonderful to work with. All of us got on famously. She just chose to take the path that she chose to take, and that basically.
But you know what? Many do.
Yeah.
Who was it we were working with or something that refused to do whatever we wanted because they were famous for it? I can't think of this situation. Recently, somebody said, no, I'm not going to do it. Sex in the City. What's her name? She refused to go in Sex in the City because she didn't want to be. Kim Cattrall didn't want to be typecasted as Samantha.
Yeah.
And so many actresses and actors who have been typecasted. Superman, for one, the one that killed himself.
Yeah,
George Reeves.
No. Chris. George Reeves.
George Reeves.
No.
Yeah, George Reeves.
George Reeves.
It led to his death, his suicide, or
it was a murder, but they covered it up.
Right.
So we actually met.
So I can understand why Channing wanted to.
We are at before we went to a really terrible premiere of a film. It was just a terrible film. I won't even mention it. But I sat next to Randall Kleiser. He was actually there. What a nice guy. He was a lot of fun. He was taking pictures with everybody. We really enjoyed it. So it was fun. So I want to brag for you a little bit, you guys. Some of the things that you guys have seen Barry in, especially on TV. He was on a show called Boomers for 6 episodes, which I don't know what that is, but it looked great when I looked it up.
It's more than 6 episodes. I want to say we did at least 2 seasons. I came on in the 6th episode of the first season. It's about a bunch of boomers who are trying to be relevant in their retiring years, and we put together a rock group. Actually, the rock group had been formed, and I insinuate myself into the mix. And
I like
then
love. It looks
hilarity
terrific.
ensues.
Now, boomers means
Baby boomers.
Web series.
Well, I'm doing it for the people out there that don't get what boomers is. Baby boomers,
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
born in the 50s.
So you guys, some of the
1950s.
other things: Grease Live, Rugrats, House, Criminal Minds, Even Stevens, Baywatch, Port Charles, ER, Beverly Hills 90210, Max Headroom back in the day, Murder She Wrote, Major Dad, Tracy Ullman
Wow.
Show, Growing Pains, Falcon Crest, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Hill Street Blues, Scarecrow and Mrs. King, Barney Miller, The Doctors, Benson, Eight is Enough, Alice. There's a million of them. Days of Our Lives. He was also on CPO Sharkey with Don Rickles as a main cast member, and I looked at some of the movies because we've had tons of people that you've worked with on our show.
But wait, first let's compliment him
So
on his work record. You hit all the good shows. You were lucky.
Thanks, Ron.
Oh,
Thanks.
talented. But you
Thanks.
never got to do Charlie's Angels or Macmillan and Wife.
No, but I did work with Kate.
Yeah, but I did. Excuse me for bragging. I was.
You don't do that.
I did Macmillan, and I also did Charlie's Angels.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me when you speak to me. Say, sir,
Sir.
Mr. Russell.
Mr.
No,
Russell.
you have some fucking working career.
Yeah, so
I wish I had
as
all
a
the
kid,
work that
listen
you
to this.
had.
You'll like
Shut
this.
up,
As
I'm
a kid, I know
talking.
we don't. I have got stuff to talk about.
He's a lunchman.
as
He
a
stays
kid-
longer.
As a kid, he was I don't even know if he was credited. I think it said Kid in Pajamas or something, but like he was in a movie with George Papard and Raymond Burr. I love Raymond Burr. and he
I
loves
knew George
Papard.
Papard. I knew
Yeah, it's called PJ. PJ was the name
PJ,
of the
there you
film.
go. Okay.
his kid in
Yes, I can see the mistake. I can understand.
I wrote
PJ.
Kid in PJ.
Yes,
No,
that was his name, PJ.
George Papard was one of the handsomest men you'd ever want to see in person, and his sweetie. His kid and my kid went to El Rodeo School together in Beverly Hills. So I met George at a parent meeting,
Uh-huh.
children parent meeting,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I would see him around town, and we would be talkative. A lovely guy, lovely.
He
lovely
also went to
guy.
Carnegie Mellon. I don't
Oh,
think he
that's cool.
graduated. I don't think he graduated, but he went. He went for a while there.
I'm sorry he passed away so young.
So well, yeah. Yeah.
I love the movie Avenging Angel, which I had no idea you were in it back in the day. And Betsy Russell was on our show, and
I was
and she
just looking on Instagram. I don't. Maybe it was someone that is involved with the promotion of this show had a hashtag Avenging Angel, and they clicked on it, and there were all these pictures of Betsy. And yeah, she's a sweetheart.
What a great movie, though. When I was younger, I thought that was like the greatest movie. And I owe you a lot of times the movies that I pick out are like the ones that people have they're not, don't ever talk about or nobody ever asked about. But I thought that because there was a whole series that turned into a whole
There were
series.
three of them. It was there
Yeah.
was Angel, Avenging Angel, and I think there was Angel 3.
Yeah, I loved all those films. And you
It's
did a
something
movie
like-
called The Silent Natural, and we had I just did a movie. Ron and I both just did a movie with Vernon Wells. But
yeah.
Tyler Maine's been on our show. Courtney Gaines has been on our show. Marshall Teague's been on our show. We would love Sam Jones to be on our show, which you've done a couple of things with Sam
Terrific.
Jones.
Flash Gordon.
Yes, he's a marvelous man. And I also just did a film. It's not on the resume yet because we just did it called Foreclosure, directed by the terrific Brian Herzlinger, and he just had a Lifetime film on called is it the Christmas Fix? Oh gosh, I'm going to the Christmas Fix Up. I think no. Oh, that's terrible, Brian.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
ACR, A Christmas Reunion. That's it. And he's got another one called something Fix Up that my friend Brian Sills is in. I'm terrible about this. Please forgive me. But anyhow, Foreclosure will be out, and I believe that will also be on Lifetime, starring Branscombe Richmond, who actually produced Silent Natural. He is responsible for getting films produced in Kentucky, the Southern Kentucky Film Commission. He brings film production there, great tax incentives, et cetera, et cetera. So Branscombe was also in with Lorenzo Lamas. He was in his
Larry
series.
Lorenzo.
Was it not? What's the name of the series? Not Knight Rider. That was Hoff.
Renegade.
Renegade. And Branscombe's been a friend since the Rickles days because he had done a Rickles show and we became buddies. And he's a great guy, and he plays the heavy in this Foreclosure. I have a very interesting character that I play. So this is what's wonderful oft times with this business. It's very much a who you know business. These wonderful friends that bring you into their projects. There's nothing sweeter than to not have to bust your bottom to get because you know the
Now,
job is getting the job.
I
When
wanna
somebody
say-
Yes,
calls and
it
says,
is.
I'm a friend and I want you to come and do this film, your day is made. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say something about Lorenzo Lamas. His mother and I were very
Arlene?
close. I just lost
May she
Arlene.
rest in peace.
I am so sorry because we were going to New York in February and Jimmy was going to meet her at lunch. And unfortunately, but as far as Larry goes, he doesn't like Larry. Lorenzo goes, he hugs me when he sees me. He'll kiss me on the cheek. He's not a homophobe. He's a real man. He's a true heterosexual man.
We hug and kiss all the time every time we see each other.
Well, wait a minute. He has no fear of loving another man publicly as friend. He is
Nor do
not.
I.
He is the furthest thing from a homosexual man that I
Oh.
have ever met. He's totally heterosexual
Yeah.
and a charmer. I went to his daughter's christening up at Tall Trees, which was Arlene's house up in New York State. And he was there, and I said, my friend Teresa is so in love with you. He said, yeah, where does she live? I said, Long Island. He said, how far? I said, what are you talking about? He said, come on, let's go ring her bell. I said, what are you kidding? She dropped dead. I said, he was going to do it. He and his friend. And then I said, she's Italian and she makes the best manicotti. Oh, now for sure we got to go. And Larry Lorenzo is just a doll. I love him. I
He's
miss
getting
him.
married, he's getting married to Kenna Scott, and she's lovely. That's his
I know,
fiance.
but you know what? When he was between wives, I have a daughter, a beautiful daughter, was runner-up in Miss America, blonde, green-eyed beauty, and Arlene knew that. And I said, Arlene, how about we fix Leslie up with Larry? She said, Ron, never. She said, I like your daughter too. Never, would never. She said, my son picks the worst women, she said, in the world to be with. So, and no, Arlene was very against it.
Ken is a sweetheart, and she has two sons that pardon me?
Is she blonde?
Yes.
With big boobs, and she was a pole dancer.
I don't know that. I don't know that.
That's Lorenzo's girls. That's what he likes.
She's just delightful, and her sons are
Good for him.
amazing.
Well,
They're young sons that have. I'm sure their IQs they're off the charts, but they're the most well-behaved, sweetest, brightest two young boys that I think I've ever met. We all had dinner together. We just did an autograph signing show, the Hollywood show, a couple of months ago. We all went to dinner afterwards, and these two boys were so impressive to everybody at the table. And she's a sweetheart, and they're a great couple. I hope they last for a long, long time.
I hope so too, because I haven't seen Lorenzo in oh my God, maybe I'm with you 10 years. I haven't seen him in over 10 years.
Get him on the show. Bring him on the show.
Yeah, we'll have to bring him.
You know what? I called him. Maybe it was for my TV show, Set the Record Straight. And his number was changed, and I never got the new. I don't know what happened.
He follows me on Twitter. He follows me, so I can get it.
I would love for Lorenzo to come on so we could talk about his mother and his famous father, Fernando Lamas. I mean, these are people from my time.
He tells
your time also.
He tells a great story about their friend, who is the character in the commercials the most. Oh, thank you, Teresa. I didn't get the memo about the Hawaiian shirts. I have about 40 of them. I would have worn one. Anyway, he tells a story about, the commercials, the most famous man in the world. It's for Dos Equis.
Yes.
And the way the man talks, he's got some sort of foreign accent. He tells us they're friends of Fernando and Lorenzo. And this gentleman, I forget his name, he went to the audition doing Fernando. That is an homage to Fernando.
Oh,
Right.
that's cool.
That's how he got the job.
It's a great story.
Well, Fernando Lamas had that wonderful Spanish accent, and he rolled it well. He knew how to roll it to
marvelous,
make it sexy, marvelous.
So I have two things. First thing is, I produce a lot of films, and I have a list of all the actors that have been on the show. Like that way I can say, hey, these are people I know, and we could get in. So I'm gonna put you on my list because I have 9 films in production right now.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm interrupting. Where do you live?
Yeah, I live in Southern California.
Where LA area?
It's close, the other side of the hill, in the valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you like to go to events? Because we are invited to a million fun events where everybody in town goes, all the old bags and young ones. We'd love
yeah.
to put you on Jimmy's invite list.
I'm a publicist, so I get invited everywhere.
Red carpets and art exhibits and all kinds of wonderful things that are happening in LA. And I
Please.
like you, and I'd like to know you. I would
Thank
like
you,
to.
Rod.
I think you're a nice fella.
So here's
really
my
nice.
other question though, then, because this is what I like to ask to all the actors, and so because you've already worked with, like, when I look at the list, like, you've worked with a zillion million awesome people. So if you had a bucket list, like, what's a male and female actor that you have not been able to work with that you think would be fun to work with? And then the second half of the question is, if you could have been in any movie, not including Grease, because you were already in it, any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie do you think would have been fun to be in?
Gosh.
That would, like, float your boat.
That is such a hard question, because there's so many projects I'd love to be a part of. I mean, right now I'd love to be in the series Organized Crime with Christopher Maloney.
Yeah, good.
I mean, my wife is a diehard original Law and Order fan.
Me too.
And, though I love them, and you watch those old episodes, and everybody shows up in those episodes.
Yes.
I auditioned once many years ago while I was back in New York and didn't get hired. But not that I'll sit down and watch it. But when Christopher Maloney, I believe, was probably doing the pilot for Organized Crime, or maybe it was SVU. I happened to have been in Canada at the time with Barney the Dinosaur. I was traveling with Barney the Dinosaur. And I got into an elevator, and I had just seen Maloney in something. I didn't even know his name. And we got into the elevator together, and I kind of fanned out on him. Subsequently, he became part of that Dick Wolf
Empire,
if you will.
Empire.
Yes. And it was only in the last 2 years, when Organized Crime began, I think it's in its second season now, I tuned in and I thought, this is a great episodic. And so I started to watch SVU because it did a lot of crossovers. It still does. So I started to watch.
I've seen every one. I've seen every SVU.
Yeah, and so now I'm a big fan of those shows. So I suppose, to answer the question, I would like to work with Maloney and Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah, that's good.
So would I. So would I.
You know, I mean, and there are many. I would have loved to have been in the original West Side Story.
You could have been in that.
Well, but I'm not the dancer that believe me. I would have loved to have been in this one. I think that Spielberg did an amazing job with this remake. And, you don't retool. It ain't broke, don't fix it. This man broke that rule as far as I'm concerned. It's an amazingly wonderful, and it hopefully will run away with all kinds of awards this year. But
I'm sure it will.
And that's musical, of course, but drama, it's because I don't do that much of it. I think that it's, the grass is always greener, if you will. I'd love to do more drama, So if that answers the question.
I'm super happy that you didn't say Meryl Streep.
Her daughter, I didn't realize she's got 3 daughters, or at least 2 of them that are in the business. And we just started watching The Gilded Age last night.
I heard it's really good.
By Gummer. It's another, I forget her name. She's wonderful. Again, a chip off the proverbial old block, these daughters.
I'm watching Succession now, and I like that a lot.
I couldn't get into it. I watched 2 or 3 episodes, and it didn't grab me. And I know that it's a wonderful series.
I love it.
Some of these things you have to watch 3 or 4 episodes before it turns around and becomes something. But I forgot the question I was going to ask.
That's okay, because we're out of time anyway.
Oh,
we're going to bring you back. We're going to bring you back, and I won't schedule another person, and we'll put you on our list, and I'm going to submit you, for some of the projects that we got going.
I'd love to.
You guys follow Barry again. His Instagram is @Barry_Pearl_LA. Are you on Twitter or any other social media?
I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, but I'm really discreet with I don't have a fan page on Facebook.
Oh, you should make one. People would join in a heartbeat.
I'm mad at Facebook right now. They just put a friend of ours in jail for 6 days for writing something.
I've been in jail 5 times.
Yeah, well, that stinks. Meanwhile, you know what? If you got invited to Sue Wong's mansion, it's a 1926 mansion owned by every movie star, Bela Lugosi. The list goes on and on. It's a magnificent mansion, and she has wonderful parties. We should put you on that list because we like to keep it, all the
intimate.
That's
actors.
If I may, had I lived then, I would have loved to have been in all the Hammer films, all of the Todd Browning films, to work with Lugosi and Karloff. those films are part of the dynamic that compelled me, that drew me into wanting to be in the industry. Quite honestly.
We'll get you invited.
I spoke. I was at a party and I spoke to Christopher Lee, and
Oh!
I nice. And I
Oh!
nice. No, wait a minute.
Oh!
He's not. He's not nice. He's not
But
nice.
still,
Wait. Listen. I said to him. I said, I think you were the best Dracula ever. You
yes,
really scared me.
yes.
And you know what he said to me?
What?
I have done more than Dracula.
I'm sure.
And he turned around and walked away from me.
Now listen.
So his wife came over. She said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but he gets very upset when people only know him from Dracula."
Ron,
I said, "Listen," I said, "better they know him from Dracula than from a peddler in the street pushing rigs."
True, but let me say one more thing. That the very first thought that came into my head when you asked the question, Jimmy, was The Horror of Dracula, 1955, with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Wonderful.
That was the very first thing that came into my head, to have been a part of that and work with Christopher Lee. Whether he was a nice person or not, maybe it wasn't so, because he's
an icon.
No, Shelby Goodman. Shelby Goodman threw the party, and I said to Shelby, "What's with him?" She said, "Ron, he's not very friendly or very nice. He has to know you for a long time, and then he may warm up." So I looked at her. I said, "He can go frig himself. I know Betty Davis. Screw him."
People said that about Fred Gwynn, and I worked with Fred Gwynn in the Monsters of Revenge, and we got along famously. When he warmed up to me finally, right. And when he came over to me and said to me, "When you become a big star, will you remember me?" I hugged him at that point. Of course, he's in the Frankenstein, so when I'm hugging him, I'm like right in his crotch. Of course,
yes.
What a sweet man that was.
I love it. So everybody follow Barry, follow his projects. He's got a new movie that'll be coming out. Go watch Grease again. Sing We Go Together. I love that song. I know all the words. We want to thank you for coming on the show. You're a true talent, and it was a lot of fun.
You know what he is? You're a mensch.
Mensch, and so are you guys. Thank you for having me. Love to your fans.
Thanks so much.
Stay well, stay healthy, stay happy.
You too.
Bye-bye, Barry. Thank you.
Bye.
Sometime.
Absolutely. I'll be in touch. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. What a cool guy, you guys.
What
Love
a
it.
terrific guy. I'd like to be friends with him. He's a warm heart. He's a nice person. I hope he comes to the events that we invite him
He
to.
will. We'll get him coming. So we're going to bring on our next guest, you guys.
Even Astro liked him. He's kissing me.
Next
Isn't
we're
Astro
bringing,
cute? Everybody out there, this is my little baby boy, beautiful.
Okay, hang on. I got to let it. Roxy, come on, Roxy. Let's bring on Marlene.
Well, bring Astro on. This is Astro.
Hey, Marlene, how are you?
Honey,
I'm good.
Wait. Before we go any further, engineer, lower her. My ears are going to burst.
That's not her. That's you.
No, somebody has to lower her. She's loud.
We have to lower it.
Well, go
Am I
lower
loud?
her. No, not you. Your voice. It's the machinery. No, not you, honey.
Go ahead, say something, Marlene. Say something.
No,
Just
no.
talk regular, Marlene.
Hello, guys.
no,
Hello.
It's really. Woo. We have to have our engineer here lower.
She can't lower it. I have to lower it.
Roxy can't lower it.
I don't think so.
Some people come in really stronger than others. Where are you coming from now?
I got it lowered.
Okay.
Oh,
I can't.
how's
Talk,
now?
Marlene. Talk, Marlene.
Where
How
are you
does it-
coming?
How's it sounding now? Better?
Much better. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah? Better?
Yeah.
Yes, now I can hear what a pretty voice
Okay.
you have.
Good.
And I didn't
Hi,
mean
guys.
loud, meaning you were
No,
loud. I meant
no.
the machinery was
I
loud.
got it. How
So
you guys
everybody,
doing?
this is Marlene Bandera. You guys remember we had her husband on, Al, a couple of months ago, and he was in Rocky IV, and he's a superstar actor, and she is an actress, producer, writer, and author, and I'm going to introduce you that way. So hang on, let me do my formal introduction. All right,
Please
everybody.
do.
Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, actress, producer, writer, and author Marlene Bandera. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello,
You're not related
guys.
to
Thank you for
Antonio.
having me.
You're not related to Antonio.
No, Antonio is Banderas.
Bandera.
We are
Banderas, yes.
Bandero.
Yeah, they're Bandera.
But isn't he Bandero?
No, he's
He
Bandera.
has
he's
an S?
Banderas. Yes.
With an-
He's
oh, I didn't-
Spanish. We're Italian.
Oh, so un italiani.
Yeah.
Parla italiano.
Sì, certo,
Like-
parlo italiano.
Oh, bene,
I'm not
bene.
Italian.
She's
My husband's Italian.
Mexican. Where are you from? Puerto
No.
Rico or Mexico or
No, I'm Cuban.
Cuban? Okay, sorry.
De Cuba.
There we
Sei
go.
una cubanese.
I love it.
Dove ti imparata a parlare italiano?
Ho imparato in Italia, sono vissuta a Sorrento per 5 anni.
Ma guarda come belle parla. Whoa, whoa,
Ah,
whoa. Beautifully.
grazie.
Oh,
You
we have a
speak
chat room too.
beautifully.
Say hi to everybody
Her
in the chat
Italian
room.
is better than mine.
Look how
It's
beautiful, she
beautiful.
is too. Say hi to everybody in the chat room, Marlene.
And so you're,
Hi,
you're-
everyone.
There you go.
I lived in Florida and I love the Cuban people. I used to go down to Miami a lot and down in off of Brickell. Off of Brickell. What is
Yeah.
that little place we used to always eat? That
You mean
wonderful little
La
Havana. But
Little
there was a
Havana,
restaurant.
Coyote.
There was a restaurant that was open to the street. It had parrots and bananas and stuff decorated, and I loved it.
And we used to
Tons of
shop on
restaurants
Lincoln
like that
Road.
down there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Lincoln Road, sure. in
I had a
Miami
clothing
Beach.
store down in. I had clothing stores in Miami for many
Cuban
years.
people are some of the nicest, most beautiful, well-dressed people you'll ever want to
Thank you.
meet.
Thank
No,
you.
I'm
You know,
not saying it to be polite. I'm saying it's just a fact. If they weren't, I wish other Hispanic groups would be as well put together as the Cubans are. Maybe they will
Oh,
learn
thank
from the
you.
Cubans and realize that in America, gold lame and rhinestones and tinsel and tassels are not
Oh wait.
daytime
There-
wear.
There's some Cubans that have the tinsel and the
No,
rhinestones.
they,
I mean,
they
you
do
know,
they do bling. They do bling.
This,
I had-
yes,
I- I
Cubans
had-
do bling.
Well, I had a
Yes.
friend down there, Rosanna, and Rosanna was bling, but she was fabulous. I mean, she made bling happen. It
Cubans
wasn't
love gold. Gold.
yes, real
My-
18 karat.
Oh, love gold. My father, oh, bless his soul, he loved his gold watch, gold necklace, gold
yes.
rings. They love gold.
And
So hang
few
on.
people out there. There are more Cuban Jews in Miami than you would imagine. The
Yeah,
Jewish
no, there are.
Cuban Jewish population is huge. If you go into most of the shops, which I don't think exist anymore, but I remember when I went down there, I used to buy beautiful shoes for $20. I mean, I don't think that
You know,
exists anymore.
No, I mean Miami,
was
Miami
years
Beach
ago.
has changed a lot. A lot. It's
A lot.
Totally different now. Totally different.
I used to love it
Yeah.
though. I used to go a lot. I haven't been in many years
wait,
though.
it
So
got-
hang on,
it
we
got
have to go.
high
'cause I
end.
got
It got
stuff to
high
do.
end now.
I'm sorry?
It became high end.
Yeah, it's very high end.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's very urban.
Very,
very urban
very
now.
Much so. Yeah.
So
Now,
'cause
what about,
I went to the MTV Awards there, the Source Awards. I went to everything like there. So
so what are you writing? That
no,
you're
I want to
writing?
I want to like do it.
Okay, you do it.
All right, you guys. So, Alan, Marlene are phenomenally. But not only are they super nice, they're great looking, super incredibly talented, and we're working on some films and stuff. But we actually brought her
we
on
are.
specifically because she has authored a new book, and the new book is called Dante's Cool Wheels. And I'm going to read this little
Yes.
synopsis. Oh, good. Show everybody. Hold it up again. Hold it up while I'm reading this. So, you guys, on Amazon, Dante has cool wheels.
Look, Astro. Look at
Dante.
that dog.
Okay, listen though. Dante is a German Shepherd dog that loves to run and play. He's just
Aw.
like every other dog, except Dante is paralyzed and must use a wheelchair to get around. He thinks his wheels are cool, but other dogs don't feel the same and are even afraid of his wheels. They treat him differently and don't want to play with him.
Mhm.
Dante doesn't think he's different, and all he has to do is get everyone to see that too. This is an inspiring story about a special dog who gives both children and adults hopes, courage, and strength. Written for children with disabilities, Dante tries to teach them to never give up. However, any child can relate to Dante and his desire to find friends who will accept him as he is. Dante wants everyone to find happiness and know that life is wonderful, even if you have cool wheels. I think this is like the most coolest
This
inspirational
is
type
a-
story in the world.
This is a
Thank you.
wonderful book, and everyone that has children should own this book. Read this book to your children because the messages are wonderful. One is that a dog, even though it's paralyzed, should not be destroyed, put down.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely.
The second,
Along with
the
the,
second
disability
thing
children.
is people that are different should not be held in prejudice.
Exactly.
So the book is a
exactly.
wonderful book. You wrote it, right?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Good
yes,
for you.
Yes.
So
Good,
tell us
good,
a little
good
bit
for
about
you.
how you tell us how you came up with all of this.
We had a German Shepherd dog in California. And at the age of 6, one time Al was working with him in the park. He was training him because he came from a championship line. So we thought about maybe putting him in competition. So he was training him one day and he hurt his knee and had to have an operation. And 3 months to the day of the operation, he had a blood clot, which caused
Aw.
a stroke. Yeah, it caused
Oh.
a it caused a paralyzing stroke, and we
Oh,
did everything. We took him to every sort of physical therapy imaginable, from water therapy to acupuncture to even a hyperbaric chamber for oxygen boosts. We did everything, but he never recovered the use of his back legs. And then one day, he we got this wheelchair for him, and we put him in the wheelchair, and he just took off. He just took off. He said, "Oh my God, I can walk again!" And he ran. He was amazing. And that was it. He just had his cool wheels, and he went around. We did everything like a normal dog. We went to the park. We played with the ball, with the stick, everything, just like a regular dog in his
did
wheelchair.
you know? Did you know? Because I feel the creator of all of us, if
Mm.
that creator is aware of what you have done, will reward you
Oh,
tremendously, because the things that you went to do for that little doggy are beyond what most people do. Most
well,
people would have the
you know
dog
what?
destroyed.
Al used to say he would do it for us. If
And
dogs could take
look at
care,
my
he would
boy. Look at my baby.
exactly,
This is my
exactly.
baby. I would go out and hook. Well,
And
nobody wants my
he
body, but I'd sell my body to get medical help for him.
exactly he was,
I
and
wouldn't
he was
make much
fine.
money.
Other than his back legs didn't work, he was normal. He was not in pain.
Right.
He was just as feisty. He had the same energy and strength like any other German Shepherd. There was really nothing wrong with him other than his legs
So to put
didn't
him
work.
down would have been a sin.
So put him in a wheelchair, and he was just like every other dog.
I
But
love it,
like in the
and I've seen it a lot. Like I love to watch the animal videos on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of videos, of dogs in wheelchairs and
sure,
how happy they are, and you see it on
yeah,
Animal Planet, and you've seen it all over the place, and
yeah.
and I love the way that you, um, did the analogy also to people with disabilities. I mean, it's a great way to teach kids, not
Well,
to be
I'll tell
mean.
you, I'll tell you where the idea for the book came from. Really, really came from. I was walking Dante one time around the lake, and he had his little stick in his mouth, and he's walking, and we're just having a nice time. And this woman comes running up to me, and she's crying. Uh, I was like, "Oh, what's wrong? You okay?" And she's like, "Listen, I'm sorry. I see you all the time, and I finally get a chance to talk to you. I have to tell you, I have a little boy who's 14 years old, and he's been in a wheelchair his entire life. He was born without a chromosome. He'll never walk. He'll never be like every other kid. But every morning when I take him to school in the car, he sees you walking your dog, and he turns to me and says, 'Look, mommy, he's just like me.'"
Oh, how sweet.
And when she said that, I said, "Wow,
I
that's
have like a
amazing."
tear in my
Yeah.
eye.
No, your
Yeah.
book will do a lot of good for a lot of
And
people
that's where the
if you
idea
get
came from.
the book. But if you're stupid and you don't get the book, and you raise your kids to be stupid kids like you're stupid because you didn't get the book. So be smart.
What a
Get the
great,
book so
what a
you'll have
great
smart
though
kids.
animated, what a great animated television series that would be.
Yeah, Al and I have discussed it. We're talking about it. I have other ideas for other books and how to continue the
Incorporate it all and
story.
keep it going.
I saw
Yeah.
this back
Yeah.
in 1956. I went to Italy on a ship, and one of the women on the ship had a dachshund, and that's the first time I ever saw two wheels in the back of a dog, and I was fascinated. Nobody had ever seen it back in 1956, and
Wow,
we
that's
and
early.
everybody, they're only allowed to walk their dogs a certain amount of hours, so she would walk it up and down the promenade, and everybody would gather around that dog and just love and adore it. So it's something that people really enjoy seeing, an animal
Mhm.
that through mechanics is able to function. It's
So
wonderful.
so tell
Yep.
everybody though then where can people actually get the book?
Anywhere.
It's on Amazon, Amazon.com.
How much
It's
is it?
available. Paperback is $11.99. It's available in Kindle form, and I just got the hardcover.
And how much is the
hardcover now.
how much is the
Hardcover
hardcover?
is 20.
Listen, for
That's
20,
so adorable.
listen,
All
all,
available.
all of you people out there that have beautiful coffee tables, for $20, this will grace your coffee table. Everyone that comes to your home when they sit down waiting for you to get their cocktails for them will look at this book and say, wow, It's a great book. I love this
Thank
book.
you.
So now,
I'm
who
getting a lot-
illustrated it? Did you illustrate it, or you had
No,
someone illustrate it?
I wish I was that talented. No, I found a young I found a young illustrator, a young artist, and I worked with him. I gave him the ideas. I sent him pictures of Dante. I sent him pictures of other dogs, and we really worked close in getting just the right pictures.
I love it. I think it's
Mm.
fabulous. So you guys, just first of all,
Thank you.
Marlene spells her name unusual. So like when you go Google, when you go to Amazon, you stick in Dante's Cool
Yes.
Wheels, and it's Marlyn, Marlyn,
Marlyn.
and then Bandero is
That's Marlene.
Bandiero.
I would pronounce it Madeline. Or
Well, it's
Madeline.
because
Madeline.
since you lived in Miami, it's Marlene, Spanish.
Yeah,
Marlene.
Marlene,
So that's why I
absolutely.
pronounce it Marlene.
Yeah, that's
I
why
love
I
it.
pronounce it as Madeline automatically, or Madeline, or Madelina would be Italian, would be Madelina.
Yes.
Oh wow! So
Española Madeline.
Yes,
say hi to B Claudia in Germany. B Claudia says that like
Hello.
You're very
that you
beautiful,
can
by
get
the
it.
way.
She says you can get it, but you have to pay $9 to ship it to Germany.
Oh,
Well, it's
It's worth it.
Meanwhile, you're
it's
very
worth it.
wait. You're very
worth it.
you're very beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you
Thank
have a
very
handsome
much.
husband?
You
have
know
a,
her husband.
have
He's been on the
Very
show.
handsome.
who's a husband?
Oh my
Ow.
God!
Honey,
Ow.
I'm 81.
Ron.
I'm 81 years old. Do you think I
Ron.
remember yesterday? Who's a husband?
Al Bandero.
Al
He was in Rocky
Bandero.
4. He was on the show, and then she came also on the show behind it, and they're doing a movie Blue Betrayal, and
I love him. Oh my God, what's wrong with me? I need to go to a home. Put me in a nursing home. Oh my! Now I know who we're talking about. You know what? This is age sucks. Let me tell you. I get so no. I'm 81. I'll be 82 in May. I'm getting confused easily.
Well, look at
Of course, I know you're a husband. Dear
course.
God.
Of course. Say Randy Edelman, I will say hi.
oh,
I just
actually,
saw
that's
that.
Hi,
that's
say hi-
that's
say hi to
Eileen.
your-
That's
Oh,
Eileen.
that's Eileen. Oh,
So say hi to
okay.
Eileen. That's Eileen as
Hi,
Randy
Eileen.
Edelman. There you
Say
go.
hi to say hi to your husband for me and to forgive
I
me
will.
for getting
I will.
confused. Oh my God, your husband is very handsome.
He's
is
good.
very
He's
handsome.
good with pictures. He's not so good with names.
No, you know
If
what
I
it
had a
is.
picture of Al there, he would know who it is.
No, you know what it is. Listen to me, and I'm not copping out. I'm in the business 64 years, almost 65 years. Do you know how many people I have met in my line of work? Millions,
So have
millions.
they.
My mind does not remember. Yeah, but they're not my age. When you get to be my age, the stack of names just become one. And if you
I
don't
tell
remember
you,
the
I'm similar. I will remember a person's face
face, yeah.
forever. I'll
will
remember
I.
a face, a place, a direction,
Me too.
but a name and a
But I
number.
can't do- I
have a
can't
hard
do
time.
names.
Numbers, and I can't do numbers. If you
Well,
give me a
I'm
telephone
are you
number in 5 minutes,
dyslexic?
I forget it.
Me too.
No,
Are you dyslexic?
no,
I'm dyslexic.
no.
I have trouble with numbers. I do everything backwards, and I can't remember lines anymore. I'm in 6 movies coming up, and thank God I have an earplug, and I'm fed my lines because I can't remember them anymore. The brain
Oh,
just says enough.
That's not true. You remember them. You just don't remember where they go.
Right. Well, same thing.
well,
But no, the brain is a sponge, and it just can
Yes.
absorb so much. And then it says, "Listen, you're going to die soon. So what does it matter?
no, don't
you-
think like
You
that.
don't need to know this name."
Don't think like that.
No, I'm only kidding.
He's
I make a
kidding.
joke about it.
He remembers his lines. He just doesn't put them always know exactly where they go. So I give him little
Well,
hints.
what
You can't see the earplug anyway. So
No, but you know what it is? The lines stink. I don't. I mean, I've been in movies where the lines were wonderful and meaningful, but most of the movies are minute crap. And the lines are not memorable. Let's put it that way. Or
Well,
lines.
you have to choose. You have to choose movies that are well written. That's all.
Well, you know what? I do
well-written
these movies.
scripts.
I do them for friends. My friends, like in the business, ask me in, and I go in as a cameo or as a character for them. Not for the money, that's for sure. But you know, like a line, like if I play Hood Mafia a lot, Brooklyn Mafia, because of my New York accent.
Right.
And when I read the line, I'm supposed to be a mafia guy, and don't write, "Oh gosh darn heck, may I please have your gun?" Because that's not how we spoke in
That's not how
Brooklyn.
you speak. No.
So it's hard for me to remember that line because it's
You know, as a screenwriter, I work really hard on dialogue. fact,
definitely.
I will sit, I'll look at the dialogue day after day after day. I'll take it
Yes.
apart. I'll walk away. I'll come back. I reread it again. I read it out loud. I act it. I give it to Al.
Yes.
Al then
Yes.
gives me.
Yes.
I mean, I
Yes.
work
Yes.
so because if the dialogue is not well written,
The character disappears.
exactly, and you want to give something for the actor to work with, so they
I'm gonna
really
give
get into
I'm
it.
gonna give real props.
Wait, the line has to make the character come alive. If the line doesn't work, the character is on paper. And today, in most of the movies I'm in, as I said, they shoot like Lorene Landon and I agreed that they shoot lines at each other. Nobody acts anymore. I'm a method actor. Lorene's a method actress. So we work differently. We're damn good actors. I got to tell you, Lorene Lauren and Sadie Katz are brilliant ladies to work with. And I've worked with both of them in a few films. But the rest of them are just cardboard.
You know,
Hang on,
what-
I'm gonna give props though. I want to give props first of all because you guys. I know that the book, which I have not read the book yet, but I'm going to get the book and I'm going to read the book. But I love the topic and everything that she's doing with it, and I think it's one of the most unique, cool, helpful stories
beautiful
probably ever
cover
written.
also.
Dante's Cool Wheels. It's
Very
beautiful.
very colorful.
But you guys,
cover.
I have read several scripts written by Marlene, and I read a lot of scripts because I get sent a lot of scripts, and
So do I.
none of the scripts that I have read from anybody else are anywhere near as good as the ones Marlene writes, because it's when you read it on the page, you in your head you already know what everything should look like because it's so descriptive, you know, the locations and what you're doing, and everything is so well descriptive that you can like figure it all out in your head like immediately.
Yeah, but you know what, Jimmy? You get in
Thank
trouble
you.
with that because I wrote a movie called The Gift of Magic with Lainey Kazan, who's going to play my wife. And I sent Lainey the script, and Lainey said, "But Ron, where's the description?" I said, "They would told me nobody gives description."
I know
anymore.
she does.
No,
and
I
that's
know.
why
But
I
wait a
like
minute.
it.
Wait a minute. The directors don't like scripts that direct because that's their job. And I said to Lainey, I agree with you. So I did a little bit of description here and there to get away with it. But they won't like your script if you. And I believe.
She's already got.
no. There's a difference between a script that has a lot of description in it, where you're literally directing the movie as you're writing it, and a movie
No,
that
it's not
just
like
has
that.
just has the description of a scene. You have to set it up. You have to let the reader know, where is this character? Where is he sitting? What's the
That
room
you could
like?
do.
You have
Well,
to give
no,
that.
that
Best
you,
scripts I've read.
no, that you I can't. No, I was told not to. I gave. It takes place in 1943 in the east side of Manhattan, New York, during the war. And it's about a Jewish woman who's a bookie married to an Italian mafioso.
Oh, wait, we
And
have to go
that's
to
all I
the
could do for description. And they didn't want anything. I started to describe the kitchen with the sink with the skirt around it and the old
yes,
ice box.
That's
No,
important.
no,
That's
they
important
said
because
the
that
set the set designer will do all. I mean, they came to the set designer is going to do.
That's his first script, so he's different. He's like learning as he goes along, and he's
Right.
listening to the people that are in California. You're in New York; they look at things differently. Because I can tell you from I've probably
I'm like you. I
in
would
3
love a
years-
descriptive.
Hang on,
script.
in 3 years, I've probably read 500 scripts, and out of the 500 scripts, the two of yours that I have read, and I'm not quite finished with the third one, are probably in the top 10 of all the
Thank
scripts
you.
that I have read because you write
Thank you.
things
Well,
so
pass
well.
one on to me. I want to read it.
I will.
But you know what? Some of the scripts I get, I swear to you, I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about because all
You'll
they
like hers.
because all they do is say, listen, they'll write, he enters the room and sits down. Yeah, well, what room did he enter? What did he sit on? Who is
Exactly.
he? I mean, I can't deal with that.
Exactly.
And these movies get made. And when you see the movie, he does. He walks into a room and he sits down and nobody gives a damn. Because there's no reason for him to walk in the room and sit down. Give the character
No.
purpose.
You
And
have to give
And
some
character,
idea.
character establishment. I wrote
Yep.
in my script character establishment, and they said, "Oh, you don't have to do all of that, like how they dress and what their hair looks like. Hair will take
Thank
care of
you,
that.
Teresa.
Wardrobe takes care of that."
Yeah, everybody like loves you. They all love you. So we'll have you and Al. We'll
thank
do a show one day when we'll bring once we get some of these things moving forward a little.
And
We'll
we'll
bring,
bring-
do
Yes,
you and Al
bring
together
Al.
at the same time.
We'll
Yes.
bring
We'll do like
you
a,
and what's his name together.
So you guys, again, this
No,
is
Al.
Marlene Bandera. It's at MarlynBandiero on Instagram. Follow her. Please get her new book, Dante's Cool Wheels. Just go on Amazon and get it. And in the chat room, they also were saying that you guys should create a theme song for it. So that's an
theme song
idea.
for the book.
Yeah, a theme song for the book with the dog, and that would turn into the series and all the other things as an
That's a
idea.
good
So,
idea. Okay.
so
Al's the music guy, so I'm going to talk
yes,
to him.
I know.
Get
You
one
are
of his
you are
friends.
very charming, very beautiful, very elegant,
Thank you.
very well spoken.
Thank you.
A pleasure to be with. Thank you so
Well, it
much
was
for
a
coming
pleasure.
on our show.
It was
All
a
right,
We'll
pleasure.
see you. We'll
Thank
see you
guys.
soon.
And we'll talk to you
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good one. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. That's Marlene. I love her
Was
to
she
death.
lovely or what?
And her husband was one of the biggest New York DJs like in history.
Right. I'm sorry. I forgot she was married too. You know, it happens. Hey, listen.
All right. So now we have our third guest
Good.
coming on. Let's go. Bring it on. Bring it on. Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Jimmy and Ron, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, look at you. You got a green screen of your book behind you. How cool is that?
Well, we
Really,
have
I painted that on the wall, but right before we started the show. So I mean, did it come out okay?
yeah, but we have
Yeah.
we have our TV show happening. Our show
Yeah,
is
see, we have
happening.
you behind us on YouTube Live.
See,
Oh, that's
Going.
wild,
So hold
man.
on. So it's Figliola, right?
That's right. It's good
I wanna make sure
Irish
I
name, as you can tell.
All right,
All right.
everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show writer, author, TV and radio reporter, and producer, Mike Figliola. Hello and welcome to the
I
show.
think you're still pronouncing it incorrectly. Spell it, Mike.
Figliola.
Figa.
Lio. Figliola.
Figliola.
Yeah, Figliola. But he's
I mean, I
Irish,
guess
so
in
it doesn't have all that-
Italian, Ronnie, it could probably be Fiola, but here in the
Yeah, well,
States,
that-
I'm
Yeah,
Mike
I
Fig.
know,
Unfortunately.
because it didn't
Fig, that's right.
it didn't sound right. Figliola.
Yeah, Fiola.
Figliola. Figliola. You know what Figliola means?
So let me
The si-
introduce
the
you.
sister.
So this is my cool, outrageous man about
Little
town
sister,
co-host,
right.
Mr.
No,
Ron Russell.
the child, the figlio. Yeah,
Say hi.
The male child, I figlio.
I just introduced you. Say hi.
Wait, I'm doing Italian. Hi. You're Irish and Italian?
I am, yes. My mom's Irish, my dad's Italian. So I eat and drink well.
Good for you. See, you got lucky.
So hold on, we have a
And you
chat
know,
room full of
I-
people. Say hi to hang on.
Yeah, hey,
Say hi to
guys.
everybody in the chat room. There you go.
Hi, everybody.
They're all saying hi,
Yeah.
and a lot of them I think know you from Twitter.
Yeah. Oh,
Which is very
your,
cool.
Your following has been unbelievable and super nice to me. So thank you, and good to see you guys all here.
And
So
they're all
thank you.
they're all in the chat room. Teresa and B and everybody, they're all in the chat room. Cindy, Lady Lake, they're all in there. So
The Peanut Gallery. Remember Howdy Doody? What you do? Remember
we have a
it.
great
But
peanut
Howdy
gallery.
Doody used to
Not
have
a
a
peanut. That sounds terrible.
No, Howdy Doody had a peanut gallery, and that's very nice. There's nothing bad about it.
We love them.
And don't get me.
we
I'll
have the
start
greatest
singing It's
supporters
Howdy
ever.
Doody time.
Yeah, that's funny. So you guys, Mike does all kinds of cool things, but he's got a book. First of all, he's lived in Queens for 30 years, you guys.
Go away. We're in Queens.
I grew up in Middle Village, but like you, Ron, my family is all from Brooklyn. My mom is from Bushwick. My dad's from Greenpoint when it was Italian, and they all,
Sure.
as they all do, and you probably know this, they all emigrated to Queens once things got a little shifty. No sides of neighborhoods.
We moved to Astoria. I lived
Yeah,
in Astoria
and
my adult teen years.
Right. So my mom's family moved
Huh.
down almost into Ridgewood, Queens, which is what the Sloan Midnight on Cypress Avenue is about. And my dad moved from in Greenpoint, Bushwick area over to Middle Village. So yeah, that's where I grew up, and I have roots there. And I wrote this book as a kind of a love letter to all that.
Middle Village was country for us, like Queens Village. I remember Jamaica Jamaica Estates was, oh my God, some fancy schmancy place when I was a kid growing up in the 50s. But I missed Brooklyn, so I used to always hang out in Brooklyn. I never hung out
Middle
much
Village was
in
like a swamp.
Queens.
It was like a swamp at one point. So
Well, he said Middle Village was like a swamp at one point.
Well, when I was a kid, I had a very good friend that lived out in not in Middle Village, in Queens Village, which is not far from Middle Village.
not
And
far,
it was beautiful, trees and Tudor houses. It was, and the house, I remember his family bought it for I think it was $19,000, an all brick attached house with a slate roof, now worth probably $1 million
or more.
Middle Village is nice. I remember Middle Village. Yeah, a nice little shop.
No, you're right. It's about $1 million a house there now. Yeah, you're right. And I'll be honest though, it's not worth it because there's no parking. I mean, which
No.
everybody wants to have fist fights over their parking spots. So it's
No.
like a different land now.
I love your Queen's accent. Oh, it sounds so
Thank
good.
you. Yeah.
So
Oh,
you guys, Mike, first of all, you
sick of
can
this
follow
California shit.
You can follow Mike on Instagram. He's Mike with the letter A Figs. So Mike A Figs on Instagram. On Twitter, he's just Mike Figs.
And what does he do?
And he's got a book.
Okay.
And his book is
Talk
called.
about
Hang on, I'm going to read the little thing for it, and then he's going to talk about it. The book, you guys, is called "The Slow Midnight on Cypress Avenue," and
That's Cypress. That street is in on Middle Island, isn't it? Cypress, the big street.
No, it's
Cypress.
actually it runs on the border of Brooklyn and Queens.
Right. I knew it. I used to drive up and down.
so here it is, you guys. Here's the book. It's called "The Slow Midnight on Cypress Avenue." Set over the course of one Sunday, "The Slow Midnight on Cypress Avenue" is a collection of interconnected vignettes that takes the reader through the streets and across sidewalks of Cypress Avenue, an unkempt afterthought, just a place that sits at the neighborhood border edge of Ridgewood, Queens, New York. The three-part book, broken into morning, afternoon, and night, introduces to the irregular regulars of the human race. And then it talks a little bit more about it, but instead of me reading that part, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the book?
Sure. Yeah. So you set it up perfectly. Look, I like to write about blue collar people. I am from blue collar folk. My mom stayed at home and worked. My dad was a cop. My grandfather was in the Navy. I mean, that's basically where I'm cut from. And I grew up on the stoop. And at night, and I'm sure.
Wait. Tell
Ron,
people what a stoop. Tell them what a stoop
Ron,
is.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Ron. So you probably
out
know.
here they don't know. I know what a stoop is. It's to play crackers off the stoop with a ball. But remember crackers off the stoop. But out here they don't know what a stoop is. Out here they think it's a shtup.
No, it's a little walkway that leads up from the street into your house. And people used to sit out there and congregate at night. Especially when there's a blackout. And you'd sit out there with your coffee and your kids, and everyone would play and hang out and spend time. The neighborhood gossip would get told, and that was something that inspired me growing up. That's how I lived. That's how we grew up. I knew my neighbors. I knew everybody in my neighborhood. We all sat on the stoop at night and talked. And
how old are you? How old are you?
43.
Okay.
Oh, you don't look 43.
No.
It's
you're
whatever,
back
whatever,
in the day.
whatever I'm tickling myself with is working.
No, you're from the day. You're not a new person. The stupid people of today. You're from the day when the neighborhood was a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Please
And
go
I have
on.
an
I was
affinity for
interested.
it. And I love it. And I think that's a lost something that's lost that people don't remember anymore. Nobody knows their neighbors. Nobody knows the people around them. And I care about that. I still try to keep that kind of semblance in my life. So the book is about that. It's about the milkman. It's about the butcher. It's about the people that ride the bus every day. And what inspired me was walking through the neighborhoods and seeing the stoops and wondering, what do these regular people do every day? They go to work. They live paycheck to paycheck. They work hard. When you think about New York City, sometimes people say, "What? Oh, you talk about Broadway. You talk about Wall Street." I want to talk about Cypress Avenue, and that to me was an important part to write about, to memorialize these people, and to say, look, these people are here too. It's a little darker view of Queens and Brooklyn and New York City in general, but that's what the book's focused on. And I really want to focus on the regular Joe. And that's because that's who's there. They're still there. They're not there. It's people getting priced out left and right in different neighborhoods getting gentrified, but they're still there. And those folks on the bus are the people I'd rather hang out with any day, than the schmucks you see on TV or whoever else is running around, because they don't offer any substance. And so like you said, Ron, it's it's important to remember and keep that time of life kind of alive a little bit. And so my book's sort of a memento to that and a love letter to that time.
He talks about how he misses those days.
But you know what it was? I was a wartime kid. I was 5 years old when the war was over and 6 years old. So we were a people that were together. All the neighbors. I remember one lady, she put a star on her window, another star. And I said to my mother, "Ma, why is she putting stars on her window?" And my mother said, "Because that's another son she lost in the war." And we all felt for each other and we knew each other. I was in everybody's house. I mean, all my buddies, my friends, even the girls would have parties. I mean, make Johnny Mantis on the Victrola, and we would all make out in the dark. It was fun. We had a lovely. There was no drugs, no whores, no murder, no crap going on. My mother, I never had a key to my front door of my mother's house, my father's house. I walked in, the door was open. I mean, we never
Yeah.
locked our door. And I drove a convertible always. I still do. And I would leave gloves, sunglasses, whatever in my car with the windows down and the top down. Nobody stole anything. It was a different time. It was a time when people respected each other. And I guess we were all the same people, so we didn't have prejudice because we didn't know from ethnic people in our neighborhoods because they didn't move there because they weren't allowed, probably, or I never understood why. But there were no blacks in my neighborhood or Hispanic people. I remember I had a Puerto Rican friend who was a sweetheart of a guy, Manny Rivera. And my friend said, don't bring that spick around. We don't want to hang out with him. And I thought, what the hell are they talking about? He's a terrific guy. What kind of word is that anyway? I had just heard that word for probably the first time.
Let me add. Hold on. Let me add to this.
So we all got along beautifully, and it was a different society and a different thinking. Everybody was clean. They kept their homes clean. They washed their sidewalks. They kept their front gardens beautiful. Nobody burned down buildings or vandalized anything or did any criminal acts. In my day, it was a happy time. The 1950s were the best times to grow up. James Dean, Elvis Presley, rock and roll, beach parties, Jones Beach neighborhoods, stoops that we sat on every night. You make out with your girlfriend on a stoop. The ice cream.
I love the stoop thing.
The ice cream man came by, and you jump off the stoop.
So hang on, because the chat room's talking about like different things.
Well, I'm only contributing to his book.
I know, but they're talking about
I want to open him up. I want to walk him into talking about what he's got to offer.
Hang on.
In other words, he's going to say the same things I said, right?
Horrible.
At a different time zone.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, I think it still holds true today, but not in the same way. But you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So you guys, because everybody in the chat room is putting up all these things and nobody knows what they're talking about because we haven't talked about it. So here's one more thing about the book, you guys. There is the soft and strange relationship between the eccentric Samuel Jean and a young girl of Puerto Rican descent named Esponda Desi Rivera. There's old Goldie Samuels, a washed-up relic who spends her days spinning yarns and getting free drinks at the local liquor store. But the story is truly centered on Corporal Benjamin Zogby, a veteran who spends his days alone on his stoop, watching the bus go by and wishing his love would return to him. It's his tragic fate that sends the avenue and the other inhabitants you'll meet, Earl the Fisherman, Father John White, among others, into an unstoppable tailspin toward unexpected change and inner destruction. And remember, you guys, it takes place all in one day, so it's like morning, noon, and night.
What year is this taking place?
I didn't want to set it in a specific year. Yeah, but because it's really timeless, but it could be contemporary. I think it's what you're used to. But I didn't want to pigeonhole it because I really didn't want anything else invading into the story, which is a really neighborhood story. The story is about neighborhood people and,
I love that.
and what happens in their neighborhood, and on a given day, and what these, what really spoke to me when I started researching the book again, because I've lived in these neighborhoods and everything. Went back there in research. When I walked by these apartments, these 6th-floor walk-ups, Ron and Jim, you'd see
with the baby carriages underneath the staircase.
Yes, exactly right. But the drapes would be, they'd be right. There'd be all that stuff, or the drapes would be drawn, and I'd look at those windows and say, who the hell lives behind those? There's a story behind every one of these windows.
Absolutely.
And that became the book. It became Corporal Zogby. It became Desi. It became all of those people that I created based on people I know and really loosely on a bunch of different things. Although there are some places in the book you can visit that actually exist. Like Nooney's Liquors is a real place. You can go there and visit that. But I really wanted to center on what goes on behind the regular person's closed door. And what are they really thinking? And they have problems. They're exciting. They're tragic. There's a lot of dissonance there. And I think that's what American society is. Really, when you look at it, I don't care if you're in the Rust Belt in Cincinnati or across the country, middle of the country, or you're in a big place like Chicago or New York. Everybody
Okay,
has
so
those issues.
hang on. What does your book sell for?
$16.99 on Barnes and Noble, Amazon, across the board.
Soft cover or hard?
It's a soft cover, you know, and I appreciate
How
that
many
more.
pages?
You can carry it around and read it. You know?
How many pages?
I want to say 240. About 240.
Oh, so it's a quick read. It's a quick read.
Yeah,
folks.
it's a pretty good read. Yeah, quick read. Yeah.
So now what is like the next? So are you going to turn it into a movie, or are you going to write a sequel, or tell us what
sounds
you're
like
doing?
a script, a movie.
Guys, you make me very excited to say that. I really have always envisioned it that way. I think that the
Sounds like a movie.
yeah, you know what you were saying earlier about, you know, people don't explain. You know, guy walks into a room and sits down. I find that so lame. You know, you need the guy
I've
walks into
gotten
a
scripts
room and
like that.
yeah, there's ambience and different things going. There's different things to notice that will contribute to the overall vibe of the script, right? So I tried to do that in my book. I tried to make nuance a main character almost, where you walk in and the light bulb flickering means something, or the color of the armchair that the guy sits in. There's something about it.
I since you quoted me, I have to correct that because I'm about to shoot a movie now called The Red River. And in it, I play a scientist. And I'm so fortunate that the director is a gem, Jennifer James, one of the best. And she and I talked, and I said, I hope I can establish my character correctly. So we're going to do my hair dark blonde, my eyebrows dark blonde, so I look German. I may have a bit of a German American accent. So she's letting me develop my character. So I just want to say that yes, there are some scripts that you have the liberty of becoming the character and designing it yourself. I just wanted to clarify that, not to offend other script writers.
Sure.
But then there are the jerks that don't know what the fuck they're doing and they just write nothing.
So also though, then, so you have an audio book? It's in an audiobook format also? Because somebody already got it. Somebody in the chat room already got it.
That's cool.
Yeah, you got it, which is great. Peter Percaro is on there. He's from Caddyshack. He actually reads on my book, which I am so thankful for. And Callie Bialu is on there too. I was really blessed with a lot of great talented voice actors who brought the book to life. I mean, I listened to it and wept because that's what they brought it to life. They brought those people I dreamt of. And
now another one. How much is the audio book and how can we get it?
It's on Amazon too, or via Audible. You can get it through there. I think it's $20. Might be a little bit more than the paperback.
That's a deal. It's a movie ticket.
I don't know. She's in Germany. B. Claudia's in Germany. She says it's $10 in Germany.
Okay. So
Why,
order it
Claudia?
from Germany.
You could send me the residuals if you get anything.
Order it from Germany. It's $10.
You guys should definitely support like indie.
I really want to get something out of him that he's not giving me, and it's upsetting me. I need more depth about this. I want to know exactly the mood, the feeling, because I lived that life like you lived, and I think you missed a point somewhere of the just walking down the street gave you such a feeling. Tell me about the feeling you had when you walked in these neighborhoods, and the warmth, the joy, the love. That's what I need.
Well, I'm gonna give you two feelings because I think that there's a duality going on there. When you do walk down those streets, you don't realize sometimes when you live in them the poverty or the hand and mouth to it. So you walk down those streets, sometimes you don't give a shit that it's that way. You walk down those streets because those are your streets. That's your home. When I revisited it later on in life, because, you know, I came from working class people and people who are not rich. I revisited, and, you know, I've done well in my life and I'm very blessed. I looked at it a little differently with a sadness and a wonder, because I think that at the same time, you can be blown away by what you're seeing when you're somebody who's just walking into it. Like, what is this? Or if you're there, you can sort of get numb to it. At the same time, for me, there was a people there love their neighborhood. They love their architecture. They love their buildings. They love their bus. They love their busman. They love their butcher. They love their bodega. They don't want to leave any of that behind. And so it's more important to them to stay in that area, in that place, in that zone, not leave, not better themselves, to stay with what's familiar and what speaks to them. And they will still be there. And that, that brought a tear to my eye a little bit. And also gave me hope that people are still that way. Maybe at one point we'll accept that, we don't need to keep getting things to get better in life and building ourselves bigger. We can love what we have.
You're right. I came from Ravenswood, which is a little town in Astoria, where everybody was the same, and I never knew from poverty or wealth. I just knew my friends, and we had fun. In my adulthood, I've lived in Beverly Hills, and now we live in Palm Springs, which are very affluent neighborhoods where truly mostly rich people live. Not I, but most. But I know when I go back to the old neighborhoods, which I do often, I'm going to take Jimmy to a couple of places, my heart sings. I'm going to cry. I get so excited.
Yeah.
I see my whole life flashing before me, the memories of what I did, the smells of the sidewalk, the look of the buildings, bricks instead of stucco, trees instead of palm trees, ordinary people laughing, walking kids screaming, writing chalk on the Patsy chalk on the sidewalk. Those are the things that I love the most. Out here in Palm Springs, it's very very boring. Very, very bullshit. Very, very, what do you drive? Where do you live? How much is your house? Do you have a swimming pool? All that nonsense, which I take no part in. That's why I'm not the favorite person of people in Palm Springs. They found me to be offensive. No, they found me to be offensive, which I wasn't. I was being honest. And I said, I had a cousin, my cousin Bertha, who I adored and loved. She passed away. And she and I would talk about our youth in Astoria and then in Brooklyn. And we would just be so happy. I only hope that people today love their neighborhood and have the memories that you and I have had. And maybe in reading your book, you can bring some of these wonderful stories and memories to our minds. And I'm sure your book will do that. And I strongly suggest everybody go out and get this book, because I think it's going to be a love book, a warm book, a very
real book,
a feel-good book, a real book. And I think it's going to take you to somewhere that you've never been. So if you're from Texas or Florida or California, you have no idea what it was like to live in Queens. We do. And he's telling you in this book the warm, sweet, lovely stories about loving your neighborhood and caring about the people in it. And I'm going to shut up now and let you go.
It's so kind of you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, I'm being honest. Listen, I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. You're not paying me. So why should I kiss your ass or say nice things about it?
That's just kind of
It
really is.
No, I happen to know where you came. Listen. I used to those days. I used to drive to Red Hook. I used to drive over the what was it, the Kosciuszko Skyway Bridge.
Yeah.
I know all those places. My grandmother's buried in Calvary Cemetery, which I used to go to.
My grandparents in Greenwood.
Right.
So I mean,
Ridgewood was right there. Those are my neighborhoods. I remember the bread factory. What was it called? When you come over the 59th Street Bridge, you could smell the Silver Cup, which is now the studio. Yeah. I remember all those things. I remember the trolley car, 5 cents. I took a trolley car over the 59th Street Bridge. I remember as a teenager walking from our house in Astoria into Manhattan to go to the movies. It was safe. Nobody bothered you. Nobody robbed you. Nobody mugged you. It was a wonderful world.
Ron, I'm not trying to say that we need to go back to that time, but we need to take a little bit of that time and bring it to where we are now. Because everybody hates each other. Nobody's talking. Everybody's all over the place. They're divided. And I think that we need to come together a little more.
You know what? I am media, because I report as well as do this show interview. I'm media. And I'm ashamed to say I'm media at times, because it's the media that has destroyed our population, our civilization. Media has turned people against each other.
He's also media. He does reporting and writing.
Okay, so you're another
Sirius XM, all kinds of stuff.
You're another jerk like me. We're in the business where
a hired geek. Absolutely.
Yeah, Democrats hate Republicans. Republicans hate Democrats. Jews hate Catholics. Catholics
Oh,
hate
it's all
Jews.
horseshit. Yeah, I know. It's
You know,
it's all-
blacks hate white. White hate blacks. Now they're making the blacks better than the whites. So the whites are mad because they're putting whites down to make blacks better. I mean, it's just a whole goddamn mess of bullshit. Knock it off, everybody. Just, breathe in. Be happy you're alive, because in a minute you could be dead. And guess what? Nobody gives a shit.
Right. No, I agree.
So-
and the problem is too, like sometimes they put you in the Harry Potter world, or put you a fantasy land. I was trying to take everybody back into, here's what Americana is. This is what to be American, what we are. For better or worse. And that's what the book tries to focus on. It's a little darker, like I said. There's some things that go on.
I don't think it's dark. I haven't read it yet. I don't think it's dark. I think it's honest. And sometimes in honesty, you'll find dark spots. I don't think it's a dark book. But I remember way back when American people, mostly European people, lived in our neighborhood. I lived in a primarily Italian Jewish neighborhood. We didn't have heat in our house because we couldn't get coal. The coal went to the war. So we would have to go and look for wood if we could. We go to empty lots where people dumped wood. My grandmother and I, and we had my sister's baby carriage, fake doll carriage. We'd put the wood in the doll carriage and bring it home and put it in the furnace to get 5 minutes of heat. We didn't have hot water. Yet we were all happy and we all stuck together. God forbid the little bastards of today that are so privileged and spoiled
Had to go without heat or hot water.
No, not even that their video game, the battery went dead. They have a nervous breakdown, have to be hospitalized. They don't make them like me anymore, tough like me. We used to get a spaghetti.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, we got a big spaghetti pot. We put 2 inches of water in it, put it on the fire, dumped it in the bathtub, and that was my bath. Because we didn't have hot water. We were fighting a war, 2 wars.
You know what I noticed
Japan
sometimes,
and
guys,
Germany.
To here in the city, I don't see kids playing outside anymore. That
No,
to
they're
me
home.
is the most scary thing. I lived in a great life. My mom and dad were beautiful people. They took care of my brother and I. I could not wait to go out of the house in the morning and play all day and come back at dinner. Not because my house sucked. Right?
Jimmy?
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
We rode bikes and we played games and we had clubs.
I don't see kids doing that anymore. Am I wrong? Am I? No.
You're totally
It's
right.
wild.
Because the kids are afraid of being kidnapped. They have these date things where you take your kid to go a play date thing, whatever the fuck that is. I mean, I think it's hideous.
It's a different world. That's going back to the fact that we never had to lock our doors. I didn't grow up in a city, so I grew up in Florida. But our neighborhood, like all the kids, we all hung out together. We had our first guest on today, Barry Pearl from Greece, and I told him like when I was 13 years old, we all dressed up like we were the guys in Greece with our leather jackets, and we would be playing out in the streets and stuff. And so, that doesn't happen anymore.
When I was married, I have 2 daughters still. I have them, and my children played in the cul-de-sac because we moved out to Setauket, Long Island, which was country, and again, it was a civilized world. And my one daughter's 53. She'll be Monday, 53 years old. And she said, Daddy, it's not like that anymore. And I said, Leslie, you're only 53. That's not that old. All of her girlfriends that have children have play dates, and their kids don't know how to play, get on their knees and rip their dungarees and play cars, shoot marbles, or get your mother's broom.
Kick the can or whatever.
No, steal your mother's broomstick and play stickball.
Yes,
they don't.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Remember stickball? Come on.
Yes.
Or Johnny on the Pony.
Oh, hang on, because we got 2 minutes. So, hey, everybody, this is Mike.
I can't wait to read your book.
Mike Figliola, you guys. You can follow him on Instagram.
Figliola.
Mike A. Figs on Instagram. He's Mike Figs on Twitter. His book is called The Slow Midnight on Cypress Avenue. You can get it in audiobook format, or you can get it in a Kindle, or you can get it in a paperback. It's available on Amazon. And what did you answer real quick to is there a sequel?
There is. It's actually called Fine is Flying Without You. And
bring it close.
Yeah, you see it again? Can you see it?
Yeah, go close.
Yeah, what's it called?
Fine is Flying Without You.
Okay.
That's
Fine
the
is
cover
Flying
art
Without
I'm working
You.
on. Yep.
Okay. And when is this one coming out?
I'm working on that right now. I'm trying to get get a new deal for that book, and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for summertime.
Okay,
So-
good for you.
Did you voice over your book? Did you
I
do
did
the
not.
voiceover?
No, he had
did
other
some-
people.
Why didn't you do the voiceover?
The company, the book company wanted to use other folks. So
A name.
Yeah.
You couldn't narrate your own book.
Oh, there we go. Look.
Oh, there it is. Hey, that's the thing. Yeah, no,
Looks
you know, I offered, but they said they had a cast, and I'm actually really happy with it. Peter is great, and everybody I was blessed with. But Jimmy, let's turn the Slow Midnight into a movie. What do you think? You gonna do that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not so easy. Don't get an erection. Not so easy.
Doesn't mean it can't
There's
be done.
A lot of work ahead if you're going to turn
Show
that
me the
into a
way.
movie.
Show me the way.
Absolutely.
Lot of
We'll
work.
talk. So everybody, this is Mike Figliola. Follow him on social media because we're out of time. We want to
Mike-
thank you for coming on and sharing your book with us. Congratulations on all your success, and we'll be in touch. And
Mike,
that's it.
Thank you for those who read your book and you show them when this world was civil, when this country was civilized.
Thank you both so much. Really was an honor to be here.
My
and I hope
my pleasure. My pleasure.
Oh, the dogs are barking.
You wrote something good.
All right, everybody,
you, sir.
that's it. So everybody
Take
in the
care,
chat
Mike.
room, thank you so much. We want to thank all our guests for coming on
Thank you.
today. We'll see you guys next week. Roxy, thank you, and everybody
Bye,
have a great
Roxy. Thank
weekend.
you.
Bye.
Bye, Mike. Take care, babe.